Greetings, sunshine. What's up? Welcome back. I am going to do a quick video. I think it's going to be quick, but it's different from my normal walk and talk ones because Spirit has been trying to get me to do this video for a while because I've been on my own personal awakening journey, and I kind of wanted to keep it personal to a certain extent, and then I would come and do some stuff on Elevate the Good because I know other people are experiencing this now because it's in the atmosphere. It's all of us. It's a major awakening and a major unlearning that's going on. And so I just wanted to sit here and follow my spirit because that's what I need to do right now. But making this video really is about Elevate the Good was started for people, us, me, all of us, to get back to our authentic selves. But we have to question things to figure out what that is because we've been indoctrinated with so many things from our family, traditions and school systems and the things that we were taught and groomed to operate outside that world, but we were not taught about who we are. How does this physical body even actually work? How are thoughts actually created? How do I influence my manifestations? What is energy? What are these chakras? It's a whole bunch of stuff that should have been discussed at school, but we didn't get it. So now is the time people are waking up and realizing that they're full of anxiety, depression, unhappiness, not feeling like they're enough, and been for a very long time. But now is the time that people are like, and they want to question everything. And I know that for sure because I've been getting texts and emails and DMs for my last video. And not just the last one, but especially the last one, because people are questioning all those things. Like I said, frameworks, traditions, values, friendships, relationships with themselves, their work life, there's their whole mindset and framework. That's how you're showing up, and then that's your self-identity. And so you have to become aware of your self-talk. Your subconscious is actually what runs your day. What you're saying, and you be saying one thing out of your mouth, but subconsciously what you're thinking and believing about yourself in the world is actually how we're showing up in the world. And we've been on autopilot. So a lot of our patterns and our habits and our behaviors are just something we've been doing for a long time. Even if they're making us miserable, it's familiar. So we keep doing them over and over and over and over, and it's not working anymore. Because we were in a world, hey Blue Jay, we're in a world where it's ever changing. Every nanosecond we're changing. We think we're the same, but we're energy. We are electromagnetic beings that are constantly changing. But we are in this this collective consciousness where we decided this is what it's going to look like, and cold is cold, and hot is hot, and then we're in duality and polarity, and hot and cold, and good and bad, and right and wrong. But now it's time, we got to bring balance. It's too much. So I'm saying that to say that I know people are feeling the energy in the atmosphere because they're reaching out to me and they're trying to figure out what's going on with them. How can they make some changes in their lives? And I'm only an expert at being myself. So, but I have over these years went down a rabbit hole, many rabbit holes of different modalities and things that trying to figure out what was going on with me because I hit rock bottom. Nothing that I liked, I didn't like anymore. Any of the activities that I used to do, I didn't like. Nothing was, making me feel passion anymore. And I'm one of the most passionate people about life. So I had to stop and question what was going on with me. And so again, it kind of led me to Elevate the Good because I realized that I was feeling so bad about myself and I was feeding myself so many negative messages. So Elevate the Good actually started off as a mantra for me to check myself throughout the day. Because, we have like 70,000 thoughts a day, all day, autopilot, most of them negative, don't even realize it. Even the most positive person, you do. It's science, epigenetics. So I'm saying that to say that I had to question, like, why am I having an opinion about everything? So Elevate the Good at 444, Elevate the Good became a mantra for myself to get me out of these funky attitudes, to get me out of judging everything, get me out of judging myself. Do I like that? Is that good? Is it bad? I like that color. I don't like, just constantly. So you're not ever present. and intentional about what it is that I want right now. Because I was always in defense of, oh, that's something I don't like. Oh, I got to keep that away. But then that also is not letting in the good. So I started saying, elevate the good. And then the tagline came, think the good, do the good, be the good, live the good, all things good. Because all things good are in all of us. That's why Elevate the Good became something, because I also wanted to encourage other people to look for the good within themselves, right? So as I went down these rabbit holes, I realized it was all mental. It's what our minds create is what we project, right? So I went down to epigenetics, and I started, studying Bruce Lipton and what's his name, Dr. Joe Dispenza, and epigenetics, and I really did. I went into Neville Goddard, and then I went into the whole spiritual side. Again, energy and spirit are one and the same, right? We're energy. And we just look like we're solid, but we're not. We're constantly vibrating. Again, we're more science than we like to believe. So I was in the Kabbalion, the Law of One, Muji, neuroplasticity, because you can reprogram and rewire your brain to what it is that you actually desire to get off of autopilot, right? I do grounding, journaling, meditation, tapping. I went into metaphysics, quantum physics, shadow work. Now we're into the new earth talk, which is real, but we're going to be discussing those things here at Elevate the Good. But the self-realization, self-awareness is where we're at right now. And it is so crucial that people to find your happiness, your joy, your peace, and your authenticity, and your innate gifts and talents that you came to this earth to express are in you. But now it's time to get them out. But you got to stop one thing to let something else in. And you got to actually believe that there is something around us, our higher selves, our spirit, our God selves, whatever you want to call it. It's always with us. It's always informing us. And so, do you remember those video games where they give you a portion of a picture with some logos from popular companies, and then you kind of guess which one the logo is? And we were so proud of ourselves, like, oh, we know what that is. Oh, I know what that is. Oh, I know what company. I ain't even going to say the companies. But I realized, and that was some years ago, I was so good at that game, and I had to delete the thing off my phone because I realized this is just more mind control. Because it's like, if I can recognize your logos and your message before I can recognize my message and what's going on within me, that's a problem. And that's where we are. We know more about what's going on out here, and we judge ourselves based on what's going on out here. Know nothing about what's really going on in here. And what is going on in here, we just put a bunch of junk in there, and then we call it our lives. And then we want everybody else to make us happy. And then that's not working. So now is the time. And I don't know who is watching this. There was some, maybe 3-4 years ago, probably in 2019, on one of the walks, I told you, I heard it out loud. Now is the time. And that phrase always comes up. My spirit always brings in, it's always synchronicity, signs, symbols, something I need to pay attention to. And so I had to literally allow my life to fall apart. I burned every bridge that I can think of, most even professionally, in my career, definitely relationships. Lots of folks had to go because I realized I was the unhealthy one that was holding on to the past or holding on to certain energies. And one of the things that was so amazing about how we do our life that I learned, that although it's something we may dislike, we still resonate with it and recreate it in our own lives. So say, for instance, you grew up in an alcoholic household. You probably most likely ended up with an alcoholic in some relationship or your friendships. You don't like it, but it's familiar. And it was just a part of your makeup and the momentum of your thinking and your belief system. It's not really who you are. It's just that you are better at navigating that because you haven't navigated something new and different. And so now is the time to decolonize our minds because we have a mindset that has nothing to do with health, wealth, prosperity, of mindset, of peace and love and joy and oneness, because we are one in different, like I said, emanations. Because what I do affects you and vice versa. What I say affects you and vice versa. Because everything is energy, even words as you speak them, thoughts. Everything goes out into the universe. Energy does not die. It cannot be destroyed. It can only be transmuted or transformed into something else. You can't create energy and you can't destroy energy. Everything that is, it already is. And everything that is within us. I know it's a concept but that's the kind of stuff we're going to be talking about on Elevate the Good. And I'm actually going to have some other experts to come on. So you won't have to just depend on me for those those answers that you're looking for to those questions about your spiritual walk right now, what's going on with you energetically, mentally, physically, emotionally. We need to depersonalize, because once we step back, because that's one of the reasons why I'm so glad I am in St. Louis. Never thought I would say that in 35 years. But I was led here by one of my spirit animals, and it's a cardinal. My daddy passed in 2018. In 2019, a cardinal kept showing up outside of my place and just was singing, make sure I would get up, even out the bed. Like, I got a message for you. And I was like, oh my God, is this really happening? So I'm not going to get through the whole story, but this cardinal kept showing up wherever I went throughout the day. And this one particular day, I was walking in Stone Mountain, and I was like, man, if I see a cardinal in here, I know this is spirit, because I never see cardinals in Stone Mountain. I'm sure they're there, but for years, never saw them. That particular day, I'm walking around Stone Mountain. You know, it's that 5-mile track. And I'm walking, and I'm getting down to like the 4.5-mile mark. And I look up, and in the middle of the street is a cardinal, just sitting in the middle of the street on the yellow line, because people can walk on one side and cars are on the other side. And I was like, it is no way. No way. I walk and I walk and I walk and I keep going. And the cardinal didn't move until I got right next to him. And he flew up. Because I mean, when I say right, like, this is the cardinal, this is me. And he flew up into a tree, sang a little song. And now I'm just getting overwhelmed, because I'm like, nah, this is not happening. It's not happening. So I'm trying to walk to the car so I can keep it together, because I'm trying not to get emotional. Like, there's no way, right? So I get in the car and I start the car and I drive off, and then something said, Google and or YouTube. I think I did YouTube. YouTube, what does it mean when you see a cardinal? Well, the first sentence out of her mouth on YouTube, was, well, if you see a cardinal, it is a sign of a father figure that has departed from you. Needless to say, I had to pull that car over, right? Oh my God, I bawled my eyes out, because my daddy had been trying to get to me for over a year at that point. And I was just like, wow, this is really happening. Because I was going down some rabbit holes of trying to figure out what was going on with me. And I'm like, so I'm willing to try everything. And after that, I would get up when that bird would chirp, listen to it, and I would get these messages. And then it was like, okay. And then Elevate the Good came to me. And then more and more messages would come to me. That's when I would be doing my little vlogs on the videos and stuff, you know, when I was doing my walks. And then I decided I'm going to go on this major pilgrimage, spiritual pilgrimage. And even did a 2020 spiritual energy vision board live event on Facebook, because I'm putting these things out. I'm like, I'm going to find myself. I'm going to have my spiritual awakening and find myself. And actually being one of the best vision boards I've ever made. So I'm going to tell you that story too. But all that to say that, and I actually even put a cardinal on that board of 3D. I went to the Dollar Tree and had like a clip on an actual bird, and I put it on there. And so all that to say, in 2020 rolls around, the top of 2020, we did the vision boards February 13th for self-love as opposed to doing Valentine's Day. And then by March the 1st, was it March 1st? I want to say March 1st, something like that. We were on the shutdown, right? So I kind of got stuck. because I had moved out of my place, sold all my stuff, whatever, and then I kind of ended up with my family, which was a beautiful thing. But needless to say, that was not what my plan was, but it also was another blessing, because now I'm in a household having to practice some other things in my spiritual walk that I wouldn't be able to practice living alone. And I was able to see myself more clearly in relationship to other people. And guess what happened? Cardinals started showing up because I put up bird feeders. And all of a sudden, a family of cardinals show up. So 2.5, 3 years in a row, they kept having babies, and I'm feeding them a baby. And then I would say, okay, Daddy, what do you want? And I even said, this is how I know spirit, because I would not have ever said it. Am I supposed to go to St. Louis and go see Mama and do something? What am I supposed to do? I was like, oh shit, this is really happening. So fast forward, 2023. Ooh, is that right? What's this? No, 2022. I started coming to St. Louis, in and out, thinking I'm just going to come in for a few months, and then I'll go hit the road and I had to do some stuff, and then I come back, then I hit the road and do some stuff, and then all 2023, I was just in and out, and then finally when I sat down, stuff started happening. But even before then, I must say, let me back it up. Starting at the top of this year, I was able to see why my father, as a Cardinal, and the reason why the Cardinal is important because it's St. Louis Cardinals. My daddy was a huge St. Louis Cardinal fan. So that's why it was not even a hesitation that I knew it was my daddy, even though all this was new for me. But all that to say, since I've been in my house, it's a family Cardinals that moved in across the street so I can see them in the bushes and the neighbor across the street. And right before I made this video, I ain't seen Cardinals in months. I saw him across the street at the neighbor's house, and then right before I hit the video, hit play or record, they were in this tree. So I'm saying that to say that there are a lot of things that are going on around us that have not been explained, but it's our job to figure out, because it has everything to do with us in our walk on this planet, in our peace, in our happiness, in our genuine, how we are genuine. So I'm saying all this to say that getting here in St. Louis, I was able to see that I had taken so much stuff personal, because I left here like a runaway slave. I don't know if y'all seen the videos. I was not happy about St. Louis for so many reasons. But, and I never really liked St. Louis, even as a kid. Like, I knew, even as a child, I was not going to be here. I didn't even know what that meant, but I knew I wasn't going to be here. So it was never a desire to stay here, ever. And I would try to share my dreams and goals with people, and they were like, whatever, you just better be satisfied. Stay in school, keep your job. And I was like, deuces, because I ain't doing that. Went and had a beautiful life, ups, downs, peaks, valleys, whatever. But man, have I had a good life. All that to say, get here, and I realized all of these things without getting personal with my family and neighborhood and community, because I love my people right now. I'm not going to talk about details. All the things that I took personal as a young person, things that I misinterpreted because I took it personal, and not realizing everybody has their own walk. Everybody's dealing with their own stuff. And the whole thing about energy, and me realizing about energy, when I left, I just took a mindset with me to Atlanta for 30-something years. I would visit in and out, but not really. I ain't really trying to be in St. Louis like that. And I still took a mindset with me that I was overcoming this and I was fighting this thing. So that was my drive. That was always my drive. I'm overcoming. I'm fighting. I'm strong. I can do what I'm going to do. And then I finally hit right bottom. I couldn't do it no more. I'm like, it's got to be more to it. Now, majority of my life, don't get me wrong, I was living for me. But it was this energy would just out of nowhere just come and make me feel bad about myself. And I ain't good enough. And I ain't doing this. And I'm like, what in the hell? And then I would go through another phase of like having anxiety or a little depression or something. And I'm just like in and out. Then you realize that's what you attract back into your life too, because with the energy that you radiate, that's what you resonate and magnetize to you. So just even the same kind of people, but then that's just trauma bonding. So in relationships, you're just trauma bonding because it feels good to talk about, your mama issues or something that didn't work out or the matrix is not working or jobs or these, employers and these bosses that are not working. Um, yeah, that's trauma bonding. But it just kept that negative fuel going until I stopped, find myself again, and then go make up some other shit to come up with to make myself feel good about myself, right? So bad patterns, bad cycles, bad, non loving. How can I say this? Yeah, it just wasn't the most uplifting sometimes when I was doing my overcomers. And so I came here and realized, oh my God, I've been doing that all my life. So even though I left certain things, I took it with me. And I went through a major rituals and detoxing and purging and praying and meditation and burning ceremonies and decreeing any curses, spells and hexes and thoughts and just everything out of my life. I've been on, it's been good and it works, right? And we're going to talk about these things over my Elevate the Good platform, but it made me realize that nothing was happening to me. I created that. Even though, as children, we may, experience trauma or abuse or something, and then you come up with a mindset about your values and your worth, and then you bring that into your adulthood until you change it and do something differently. Usually that's running at you, right? And so I had to look at my whole image. I had to look at my framework. I had to look at my concepts. I had to look at my mindset. I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, so now it's not even about something that someone else is doing. I was doing it to myself because I was looking at everything through that lens, even though I knew better. But it's always a way to change. It's always a way to, again, question everything. I threw everything up against the wall to see what was going to stick. And most of it didn't, because that was a broken person trying to overcome life. And so I had to reclaim my life, create a new foundation, a new basis based on who I am. And the other thing about energy that it can't be destroyed or created, I did even a ceremony. I walked through the house in my Palo Santo after I did a whole bunch of saging around the house, in the house, every room, doors, window sills. Again, we're going to be talking about all this smudging and stuff. But to make sure I protect this house and this energy. This saga is going to be good, y'all. I'm going to share my little story. Needless to say that I went into my old bedroom, my childhood room, and I just spoke. Who was I? What were my dreams? What were my goals? What did I want, And energy just kept showing me. My spirit kept showing me how happy I was, how peaceful I was, how I was carefree. I want everybody to be happy and let's just have a good time. Why y'all taking shit serious? And I was always that person until I became an adult and realized, okay, everybody making this shit too hard. Why y'all making it so hard? But then I trained myself to not even fit in, but just be more like the regular people. Go on and get a job, do this, pay the bills, do the whoop, whoop, the whoop, whoop, the whoop, whoop, the whoop. That was just on me. That was, again, my choice. I get that. But it was like, oh my God, this is so boring. Boring. Then I would do my little stuff on the side, not realizing that's really me, the creative, the artistic, the, fuck around and find out. That wasn't a thing then, but that's my shit now. Fuck around and find out. That's who I am. I don't do one thing. I don't have a one thing. I don't want a one thing. I could do one thing, and I've done one thing, because in my 20s, I was a stepmother and a property owner and had convenience stores, had all this stuff. But then it's you maintain it every day. I was in my 20s. I was too young for that. I was get to my 30s. It was okay, time out. I'm going to go live my life. And so I did. I did all kind of different things. And as a matter of fact, I came up with a list of all the things that I've done that I could remember. And I'm looking up on my computer, y'all. I was laughing because most of my life, a lot of my life, I was kind of beating myself up for not having a thing, one path like everybody else. Somehow, maybe I'm not fitting in. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. All that stuff. I'm trying to find this thing, y'all. And because it's just funny to me. Because I have used the system against myself a lot of times, trying to compare and figure out why I'm not doing this. And it's like, that's boring. Needless to say, I'm going to pull up this thing because I'm really trying to find it, because I'm laughing at myself. Because I've been trying to be regular. I can't be regular. But anyway, so I came up with a list of 48 different things and or titles of job descriptions that I've done. And I've had a fun ass life too. Because ain't no way I cannot do the same thing over and over and over and over. Even as a kid, I was like, this is boring. Needless to say, I finally embraced everything about me. That's what the bottom line about all this is, just embracing everything about yourself. So then you can get a more realistic picture of who you are. So then you can embark on your own journey in your own life in your own way. I know it's easier for me because I don't have kids and people that I'm accountable to and responsible for. So I've had the luxury all my life to have these moments of introspection, correction, rewriting my script, and doing those things. You can too, even if you are in a marriage or have family and people. It's just gonna be a little bit more creative, because I realize, especially since I've been in St. Louis, random people start talking to me. I guess because I'm Elevate the Good, because I do Elevate the Good every day. Except for today, I got my new spell breaker, because I've been over here breaking spells. Anyway, people are changing and want to make changes. But unfortunately, for people who are like in their hometown and they're still around their family and their cousins and their mamas and their grandmamas, they are not comfortable sharing their changes, because family people at work or whatever expect you to show up a certain way. And so we stay stuck. We keep ourselves stuck trying to satisfy other people, and it's making us miserable. And a lot of people have approached me. I ain't gonna say a lot. Several people here in St. Louis approached me saying, you know, I need to change. I'm doing better for my life, but my family, they still want me to be the same. That's miserable. That's misery. That's a bit misery. And guess what? Detachment. That's when you can leave. You can move on and live your life. Trust me, you can. I did it. It's like, and everybody gonna be all right. Everybody on their own path. No one's here to make us happy. No one's here to serve us. We're here to serve ourselves. We have our own mind. We have our own heart. We have our own body, which is an antenna to the cosmos, to God, to our higher self. So you're the only one who can manifest for yourself, because our manifestations happen through our thoughts and our beliefs and behaviors. So no one, people can buy you some gifts and some houses and stuff and things, but only you, we, I, us, can create our own individual lives. So we are responsible for what we think and what we believe and how we feel and the actions we take. And it has to be genuine and authentic to us, to your individual self, because that's how you were created, as an individual, authentic, genuine being with gifts, talents, abilities, some type of innovation, some self-expression from God that was placed in you, that's supposed to fit into the cosmos. So although we look like we're individual, we appreciate one another's gifts and individuality, but as one. And yes, we live in a world of polarity. So again, we got good, bad, right, and wrong, but we came here to this planet to create balance. So it all exists at the same time. It absolutely does. But what part of the spectrum are you going to be on? And we've all been on all parts of the spectrum, good, bad, right, or wrong. We did some foul stuff and we did some good stuff, but we can forgive ourselves, forgive others. We can practice grace. This is how we're going to be healing ourselves and one another and our relationships. And we got to step into this new energy, because you've evolved and you don't realize it yet if you haven't been intentionally doing the work, but you have. A lot of people have left the planet, if you've noticed, over the last couple of years, because they weren't wired for it. Not that they were bad people. It's just that this evolution is real. And I've been telling y'all this for a while. If you go back and look at the videos, it's happening. The energy is different. And I know you know it. I know you know it. I know you feel it. So again, we're going to have to de-religionize this stuff. I don't know, that ain't no word, but I made it up. We got to de-Hollywoodize this stuff. We got to de-emotionalize it and de-romanticize it. And all those, when I'm saying that, is because if we step back and just take an energetic view of people, systems, what's happening, who said what, why they said it, without taking it personal and making it what Hollywood says as spirituality and what's going to be happening during the revelation and all this stuff, life is more subtle than that. God is more subtle than that. He can be big like that. Source, God, universe, cosmos, whatever you want to call it. It's more subtle than that. It's in our day-to-day, moment-to-moment. And they got us all rattled all over the place. And those superhero movies, that really is us. And hence and therefore, the mind control to keep us from our true powers, our true abilities, our true knowledge of our powers and abilities, and our connectedness and our oneness. We're multi-dimensional beings. So we are our God self in this human form, but we also are being guided by our higher self. So it's just different energy forms at different frequencies that's helping us navigate this. And again, we're going to get into it on this platform, Elevate the Good. I'm going to have some experts and folks I'm going to interview, and we're going to talk about it more in detail and in depth. But I just kind of want to put this out here because it's just been in my spirit. And like I said, people are realizing that something is going on. And like I said, looking at this list of all these things that I've done over the years, I would feel good about it because on one hand, I just like trying different shit. That's what I'm on this planet for. And then on the hand, when I was trying to be regular, I would make myself feel bad because, I still haven't found my thing or whatever. And it's like, I don't want a thing. That's boring. Anyway, let me read my list because I think it's cute. Fast food worker, bookkeeper, bill collector, TV cable sales agent. That's when they used to call it a house back in the 80s. Receptionist, a front desk person, an office manager, administrative assistant. Yes, they're all different. Billing assistant, limo driving, production assistant, and that's for film, television, I've done stage, I've done it all. Social media monitor, which obviously, that's new. I've been doing that for the NFL. Set decorator, a runner. A runner is like another production runner, but they call that in sports broadcast because I do a lot of, football and basketball. Well, not basketball, baseball and other sports, NASCAR and that kind of stuff. Talent runner, that is being on set and with the talent and making sure that they get to the hotel, get to the on set or wherever they need to be. Stage manager, makeup artist, studio manager. I did manage a photographer, artist person. Set dresser. So you've seen some stuff on TV that I made look pretty. Model, actress, voiceover talent, narrator, which I've narrated for many different type of industries and products. Brand ambassador, same thing. Product specialist, same thing. Many clients in different industries. Event manager or event planner, they are different things. Real estate agent, yes, I am licensed in Georgia. Tenant services coordinator, casting associate, a casting assistant, they are two different things. Assistant director, which I've been doing lately, yay. Virtual client liaison, philanthropist, I've been doing that for 35, 40 years. Entrepreneur, HR liaison, a merchandiser or graphic designer, because I do make all of my own merch and I do design all my own stuff and I did design my own logo. What about that? I am a creator of all natural bath and body products. I'm the inventor and maker, Elevate the Good Essentials. Craft services, I don't know if you know what that is. That's like on movie sets or whatever, and you feeding the crew and the kind, they get snacks and drinks and whatever. I'm the queen of craft services. Caterer. I am a caterer too. I need to put that down there. Podcast host, producer, writer, director, coordinator, and editor. All of that. Researcher, which I've done for television shows. So like if you see some documentaries, I'm the person who pulled the police reports and the microfiche and put all the data together so the directors and producers can create their project. Researcher, landlord, real estate investor, convenience store owner, Uber driver, and a personal trainer, and I know some other stuff. So I read that list only because, well, for me too, because for a long time, again, I was like, I need a pick a thing. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Life is too fluid. I'm fluid. I'm going with the way that I'm wired. I did a bunch of shit, and I'm glad I did it. I am a well-rounded person. I can have a conversation with the homeless person to the CEO and president of any corporation and company, and I am comfortable. And I'm glad I've had these experiences, that I am not a one, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. A one note being, yeah. So I finally embraced all that, and I'm grateful for my life. I'm grateful for these experiences because it just shows me that's my wiring, and I need to stop beating myself up about it. And I'm going to keep being me. I'm going to actually be more me. As I'm talking about being authentic and elevate the good, that's what I want for us. That's what I want for you. And so we're going to go down this rabbit hole together because, again, I know a lot of people are feeling neurodivergent or ADHD or autistic or schizophrenic, or something's going on with them and they're not understanding the energies and they're not fitting in, and it's very lonely. It's a very lonely journey. And that's why I wanted to start this community, so we can be together even online. We're going to be kind and loving and supportive. I would not allow bullying and people trying to press upon us, their thoughts and beliefs for ego. Ego death is very important. That's a part of this process. So we're going to be talking about all these different things. Now let's just, start being the observer of your life. Don't judge it. Don't be the judge and the jury. Look at what's happening with you, how you operate. But don't beat yourself up. We've been doing that enough. Just look at it. Take note. And then say, what do I want to be different? And very, very important, people don't realize, a lot of times your mindset is messed up because your body's messed up, because you're eating jacked up, because you're not working out, you're not physically healthy. And if you're not physically healthy, there's no way you're going to be mentally healthy. And that's why I went kind of left, right, and back center sort of with Elevate the Good. And I offer, because I am plant-based in how I eat. I don't call it a thing. I don't call it vegetarian or whatever, because I may eat fish. I eat what I want to eat when I want to eat, because I eat for energy first. I'm a mindful eater. I eat for energy first. I eat for nutrition first. I do like stuff that tastes good and all that, but I want to make sure my antenna, my body is right. But all that to say, that a lot of times the stuff you're eating has calcified your body. A lot of people got scar tissue that they never got out of their body, so you're restricted, so the blood flow is not going through. Because I remember some years ago when I had surgery and I was in my PT for my I had torn quad tendon, and I was in PT, and people were coming in there 2 or 3, 4 years later after their initial surgery because they let the scar tissue build up and they needed to get it removed. But I also see lots of people who are limping, got aches and pains, and they just never completed their PT. So all it is scar tissue that can be broken down. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but you know what I'm saying, because I've had to do that on my own leg recently. I realized I was limping and having pain. I'm like, what is going on? Because it was like, all right. And I was like, oh, I stopped taking care and doing the massages in the scar tissue. And I can't even tell you how much scar tissue was on his knee. It had this thing like locked up for a minute after years of being active and running. And all of a sudden it was like, because I wasn't giving it my focus. So I see people again limping and in pain because they never broke that scar tissue down. And they have just determined that's just how their body was going to be, because their doctors are not telling them the truth. Same way with these medications and these prescriptions and stuff. Go find some food and nutritional things to replace that stuff. God gave us everything we need to make sure we stay healthy, happy, and whole. I'm not telling you never go to the doctor. I ain't even telling you to never not have a prescription. But everything cannot be a pill. Sometimes you just got to take accountability and responsibility for your vessel yourself, period, point blank, every single day with a routine. Read the ingredients on the back of the package. If you don't know what that stuff means, that probably means you don't need it. That's why with my products and my body products, it's like, if it only needs 5 ingredients, it's only going to be 5 in there. I ain't going to put 10. Half the stuff on the packages at the grocery store can't recognize. And why the grocery store is so colorful? All the packaging is colorful. So I rarely am up and down the aisles. I'm usually on the outside where the produce and whatever. That's pretty much where I'm like, I'm not in the meats and the dairies and all that stuff. So recently, though, in the last year, since I've been in St. Louis, I have been spending more time in the grocery store, up and down the aisles. And I'm like, what in the world is going on? Ain't nothing nutritious up in that grocery stores. I promise you. Because I end up leaving the grocery stores because energetically my body almost like the frequency shut down, because food is frequency. When I go to the farmer's market, I can feel the energy of the food. It feels like it's calling me. And other people who are energetic, mindful eaters know what I'm talking about. You go to the grocery store, it's just dead. Everything is dead. Even the fruits and vegetables nowadays. Because they didn't put so much in. And you know I'm in Missouri, so we got Monsanto, so it's all kind of pesticides and all kind of stuff. Because they've done all kind of practicing and testing up in here, in this city. Because I see it in the people. I see it in their skin. I see them walking around just looking like the Walking Dead. And I'm not saying it as an insult. It was one of the reasons why I left. And they traumatized me when I came back. I was so judgmental and angry and bitter to see people that I know all my life, that I haven't seen since I was a kid or a teenager or 20, and they looking like they 80. Dried up, can barely walk, or so on some kind of drug or prescription. And and even with my mother, she's 81. She's a healthy 81. But at the end of the day, she's healthy because she got every prescription in the world. But her body's built for it, though, at this point. So me trying to do something different would be traumatizing her. But I'm saying it to say, it's like, even her conversations for a long time when I first came, that's all she wanted to talk about was my doctor's appointments, my PCP. I didn't know what the hell a PCP. I had to Google it. No, I ain't got no PCP, because a healthy person don't need a PCP. It's like, And I'm not saying it like I'm better. I'm just saying I intentionally did things based on what I saw in my family. Diabetes, high blood pressure. And then my dad passed in 2018 out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but I guess out of nowhere. And he was 85. I hadn't been sick or anything because I hadn't been around him. But he got diagnosed with cancer, and 5 days later, deuces, he out. So I'm saying that to say that your mental health also has something to do with what you're ingesting, what you're drinking, the people you're around, the environment that you're in, that you're creating. Are you spending time loving on yourself, respecting yourself, making sure you're eating right, getting some physical, breathing, deep breathing. One thing I realized, most of us don't breathe enough. And we need oxygen. We have to oxygenate this body. Did I say that right? Get some air up in here to get stuff flowing. Our uniqueness has been hijacked. Our gifts have been hijacked, and it's our responsibility to find them. Our health and wellness and wholeness has been hijacked, and it's your individual job to get it back. It's an inside job. Only you can do what you need to do for you. And again, there is some major shifts that are going on in the energies. I know you feel it. I'm going to be addressing it, on this platform. Let me see what we're talking about. Narcissism, fear, depression, stress, bullying, chaos, division, a false sense of separation. That's all coming under that patriarchal system that has ended. We're ending that. We did it that way for a while. We all waking up from a spell. Spell breaker. I'm going to come up with a song for that. But we waking up from a spell, y'all. And everybody is trying to figure out what happened? And then that's why I've been getting emails and texts and DMs. They think I have an answer. I have a way and modalities and things that I have engaged in that I like to share. And I would, like I said, we're creating a community. So I want you guys to share what works for you during this time of your spiritual awakening. You're remembering your power. You're not powerless. That's what we were taught, to be dependent on systems, dependent on people, dependent on money. No, we're creators and manifestors. We have to be deliberate and intentional. But now is the time to unlearn, because You go back to some more of my videos, I talk about the great unlearning. And that's what I've been doing over these years. It's like a great unlearning, and mostly, again, unlearning what I taught myself and what I've used as a foundation all these years. And I had to change that, and I'm still changing it. Because we are energetic, we're connected, so you do pick up on other people's energy, and I'm an empath. I love it, but it's... Hey, empaths! We did it! We did that, didn't we? We done soaked up a lot of negativity and a lot of misery, trauma, drama, and everybody thought, oh, they good. We can just walk over them. We can keep treating them any old kind of way. But we are here on purpose. The chosen ones, and I am calling myself a chosen one because I'm real clear and I've been doing this all of my life. And now is the time that we've been waiting. Chosen ones, it's your turn. We have taken enough. We've absorbed enough. And now everyone has their own direct connection. That's why it's called the unlearning, the unveiling. The veil has been lifted. The same thing about Christ Jesus, what he was talking about. Christ's consciousness is really what it is. This is what he was talking about. This time that the veil is lifted. You don't need a guru. You don't need an intercessor. You don't need a pastor. You don't need a priest. You don't need anybody between you and God. Because God is within you. And now is the time for you to tap into that, to get back on track of what your original innate DNA blueprint is for living life. Then we can bring more peace and joy and happiness on this planet, because people are miserable mostly because, again, they're not being authentically themselves. And they're trying to be something that they're told that they need to be, a script that they've been given. And trust me, it's interesting when you go left and everybody going right. But I've always gone left. And when I've gone right, it don't make me feel good. I'm going to let y'all stay right who's going to be right. But when you go down your path, that's really where the joy and peace is, and the passion and fluidity and flow. Because I can only be me. You can only be you. And that's what is required of us right now. For us to find our authenticity, our genuine gifts and talents, and get to it. So we can all be impressed by everyone, and we can resonate with the people that are truly for us. All this fighting and warring and chaos and drama, that patriarchal system is done, son. Divine feminine, where y'all at? We back. We're creators. We're innovators. We're cultivators. We nurture. We bring things together. We bring people together. We bring systems together. We bring energy together. We are one. And when I say divine feminine, it's also in males. It's energy. We have divine masculine and we have divine feminine. And it's now time for them to come together. Because we've been doing this and this and this and this. It's just creating wars within ourselves, and it's creating wars in the atmosphere, and it's creating wars in the energy. And now is the time. God's shutting all that down. I don't know if you're feeling it, and it's not an overnight thing. It is a process. So you have to trust the process, but you got to at least go towards the process. Ask the universe for the process. Ask your higher self, who am I? Who am I? And I'll never forget this. I remember in 2006, I was like, man, who am I without all this overcoming stuff or whatever? Then that sent me down a rabbit hole of some stuff, and that was a good little breakthrough. So this thing goes in cycles. So it ain't like, oh, spiritual awakening, you're just walking on clouds every day. And that ain't, no, I ain't gonna lie and say that. But I also remember in 2018, 2019, and one of them, it was the Dark Night of the Soul. We're going to talk about that too. Dark Night of the Soul, that's when it started. And I just was crying so hard, and then this sound came out of me I have never heard in my whole life. It was almost like a darkness, like a monster, like a beast that was trapped in me that came out. It was the most incredible experience. And I even felt lighter, like something like this energy had just been holding on me and holding me hostage in my mental prison, right? And I remember saying, what the fuck is my frequency? I had no idea why I said it that day. But from that moment on, everything changed in my life. The universe opened up to me and showed me so much that I needed to know. And he wanted me to share it through Elevate the Good. And then sometimes I would just get overwhelmed and I would have to shut it down, or didn't trust that I knew what I was saying. Oh, I got my spell breaker tattoo. But what's your frequency? Check your frequency and then try check the frequency of where you want to be. Because chakras are really a thing. You got your crown, you got your third eye, I say first eye, you got your throat chakra, you got your heart chakra, which is your core, your solar plexus, you got your sacral, and then you got your root chakras. And they're actually more than the 7, but that's the core right now. We're going to be talking about all those things. And again, I'm going to be talking about it. We're going to bring out some experts. We're going to be doing yoga, tai chi. We're going to be doing a lot of different things to get this body going, get your mind and body, back in alignment. Just some good conversations, some real conversations, because I know people got questions. And people don't want to seem like they're weird and odd and whatever. Fuck it. We're going to do this. We're supposed to be weird and odd and not the same. We are energetic beings. And now is the time to learn how to be an energetic being from the inside out, based on your terms, on your DNA, on your passion, on your desires, on your goals. And the world's going to survive. We're actually going to be better. We're actually going to be better because of that. So, what else in my notes? Man, we're going to be doing shadow work, tapping. I talk about crystals and mindfulness and presence and astrology, numerology. What else? Yeah. One thing is so weird because I had lost a lot of weight. I think I talked about this in the last video and someone mentioned it. And I was like, no, because I didn't even try. I wasn't eating different and nothing. It was density. And it was density that I took to Atlanta with me, that I brought back with me. And I was never a big person. I had a big ass. My ass gone. What the hell? Anyway. And I always knew that ass was holding something, because I didn't have one most of my life, even in my adulthood. And I really, really wanted one, which is so weird. And then I finally had it, and I was like, ooh, what's this? Okay. But then I became one with it. But I'm saying that to say it was density. And misery and toxicity and trauma and drama needs density. And that's what it holds on to in your body. So people have all this inflammation. All diseases start with inflammation, let's be clear. And it's most of them starting with your negative attitude, your misery, your depression, and then that creates emotions that we haven't processed. And so what happens is it gets suppressed and it gets trapped in your body, and it causes these diseases and these aches and these pains until you do something about it, right? And I realized, as I was giving up and detaching in my meditations and relinquishing things that no longer served me, all of a sudden I looked up, my whole body had changed. That energy, I couldn't even feel it. I don't even have those same thoughts, and nothing has technically changed, but I changed, the energy changed, my body changed. That's what this is about. This is all I'm saying a lot to say this is what we need to be doing, y'all. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You ain't nothing to be fixed. It's mostly letting go and embracing who you truly are. There is nothing wrong. There's nothing to fix. You are enough. You are love. You are pure consciousness already. It's just you got it covered up with a whole bunch of junk. That's all it is. It's an inside job. It's layer by layer, by layer, by layer, by layer, by layer, to get to you. Self-love. That's a real thing. Because you got to love yourself, because you can't love nobody else if you ain't loving yourself. And if you are walking around here with this crazy story and this mindset about who you are, like I was doing, because people may not realize this, most of my life, I felt like I was unlovable. I hated myself. I loathed myself. I was just, one hand, I was trying to play small, but then I'd be like, fuck it, I need to be doing something. So then I'll go do something real big. Like, oh, I had to go from one extreme to the other. I'm a Pisces, so definitely one extreme to the other, right? Until I finally was like, I can't do that no more. So, frequency, energy, and vibration. That's what you are. That's what we are. That we are spirits having a human experience. We are spirits having a human experience, guided by God. We are God incarnate. It ain't separate. It's in us. It's with us at all times. It's just tapping into learning how to be one with it. Because I am now practicing more consistently, to allow my higher self to not dictate, but to help me guide and navigate through my day, versus me taking my humanness and what I saw on a YouTube or whatever and letting that guide my day. Because this out here doesn't know who I am and what my goals and my dreams and what I'm capable of. I have to go in here first and then project that out. And the biggest thing, one of the biggest things, a major message can simplify to amplify. And I kept saying, damn, that sounds good, because I love words and phrases. But simplify to amplify. That means take my life down more notches in my aspirations and my goals, simplify, so I can amplify my frequency in order to receive from the divine what exactly I was looking for. Because at the end of the day, everything I want is already in me. So the simplify, we can't do it all. We don't need to do it all. That's another part of the trick. We don't have to do it all. Because again, our lives are in the subtleties, and we missing the subtleties. That's why I love being out in nature. I love being at the beach. I love going on hikes. I love taking pictures of the birds and ants and just their little life, and paying attention to the patterns of nature, because we are nature. And the more that I'm engaged in nature, I can see my own patterns that are innately God-given, source-given, creator-given, and my own patterns. Because we have patterns and cycles that we need to tap into. Because we trying to outdo God. We trying to outdo nature. We trying to be up 24/7. We trying to be out and about all through the winter when we supposed to be sitting down and hibernating. We have stores open 24/7. We got every holiday. So we have Black Fridays and okay, I miss the days when TV used to go off. I miss the weekends when Sunday was boring and it was just nothing going on, because people need to recalibrate. That's the thing. We just going. That's another reason why I really don't miss Atlanta, because in St. Louis, I can take it down a notch. I was always like, gotta do this, gotta go with that. Fun, it is. But then it's like, but what am I really doing? Just a bunch of stuff so I can say I'm doing a bunch of stuff. And then I ain't creating nothing. Which again, why I went into creating products for Elevate the Good. Because I wanted to tap into my creativity. I'm like, I know I gotta have some creativity in it. I can't just be working jobs and shuffling papers for people and showing up on their sets and doing their projects. And, I don't mind assisting, working in a group and all that, but I needed to tap into me because I was feeling lost. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. So, I started doing graphic arts. I became a good graphic artist over these years. That was never even in my brain. But that goes to show, as soon as I changed my focus, and then right now, I done started like 10 different businesses over the last 3 years, just fucking around and finding out. No, I ain't making the most money, but I'm bringing myself joy. I'm bringing joy to other people who like my products. They like my message, especially with Elevate the Good shirts and stuff. People walk around, they like, oh my gosh. It starts a whole conversation about good things, peace, happiness, joy, togetherness, which is the whole point. So on one hand, do I want Elevate the Good to be a multi-millionaire company? Definitely. But it's my passion, it's my heart. So I'm not going to say I don't want it to make money. I'm not even going to lie and say I don't care if it makes money. But that's not the purpose of it. So I want you to come on board on this community, because I don't want you feeling all alone and lonely and scared or don't have the answers that you need. Because the planet needs your energy, needs you to heal. The planet needs everybody to heal. You know, you got to start by embracing all that you are on the spectrum of this duality, polarity, good, bad, right, wrong, with everything in between. And it's just our job every day to stay balanced, to not judge anything, because everything is happening at the same time. And we're not here to stop it. It's energy. But if you're resonating positive energy and healing energy and togetherness energy, then that's what we're resonating. And we can alchemize and transmute the negativity. Now, it ain't going to go nowhere unless you do something with it. Real talk. Because again, energy cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. It could be alchemized, it could be transmuted, it could be transformed. So we're very powerful beings. I'm saying that to say that. So I'm going to try to wrap this up, because in the whole point, I want to demystify and I want to simplify spirituality and spiritual awakening and consciousness and all these things that people are saying and they throwing out here because you're experiencing, whether you use this terminology or not. And if you're still watching, you probably are going through a spiritual awakening and wondering what the heck is going on. Again, I will be coming back with more details, and the videos won't be as long as this one, I don't think. But just to share the modalities, share some tips on how to get centered. And I'm not saying it from an expert point of view, like I know everything. I'm just going to share what works for me, what has been working, what has not been working. I will share that. I'm going to be bringing other people. We're going to talk about nutrition. We're going to be talking about, like the lymphatic system. I'm sure your lymphatic system jacked up. Ain't nobody even talking to you about that, have they? So your nervous system, that's what I've been spending. There we go. Let me, this is a real talk right now. This is really where I've been cleansing my body, mind, body, and spirit, but the lymphatic system, and I'm a healthy person. Man, there was a lot of junk up in there when I'm like, so I'm going to show y'all some techniques on how to, get all that stuff out and, all this up in here. Regulating your nervous system. That's the biggest point of this conversation. We are walking around here with these jacked up nervous systems, in vagus nervous systems and central nervous systems, which throwing our whole bodies off and our bodies off. And again, it's causing anxiety and depression and all these other things. And we thinking it's, one thing and it's really another. We need to get all of it. There's no way to be peace without having the mind, body, soul, spirit, physical, mental, emotional, like all of it goes together. That's why they have this thing that's called new in the last few years, integrative medicine, which, okay, I understand evolution. They just didn't know, but it should always have been that. I remember like 10 years ago, I started going to a gynecologist in Atlanta, Jaquetta Calloway. Love Dr. Calloway, because even then, while she was examining me, she was asking about my personal life. And, you still running marathons and how, are you still eating this? So she was having conversation because she realized everything in my life was relevant to my health. Who I was hanging out with, where I, how I was eating, what kind of work I was doing. Was I having, stressful days? Or am I, just everything. And I appreciated her so much, and she gave me the real deal. I didn't need to be going to see her all the time because I was healthy. I didn't need to be taking all these other medications or doing all these other things just because it's available. And I love that about her. She was very integrous, and she's very integrous, but she really represented true health care. Even if she didn't personally care about my life, I don't know. I couldn't tell. Yeah, but she asked the right questions to be able to examine me and get the big picture for my health, my overall health. So if your doctor's not asking you about what you're eating and your lifestyle, that's a problem. That's the problem. But it is at the end of the day on you to make sure all of those things are in balance. But it takes work to be you. So we get up, throw on the clothes, get ready, we go to these jobs and we go to these, companies, and we go to our bosses and we do everything we need to do for them first. I wake up for me first, even when I had jobs. I'm going to wake up for me first. I'm going to do all the stuff I need to do for me first so I can feel like I'm waking up for me first. I'm going to take my time doing it. I'm still be on time, but my point being is I got to regulate this thing. I got to be ready when I go out there. And then the times that I didn't, it was not good at all. How I showed up. So, we're going to be building this community. We're going to be awakening some of your dormant gifts. We're going to be doing energy and emotional intelligence on this platform. Your brain function is all off. Your pineal gland is all calcified, let alone your executive functioning is off. You're going to work and we're doing these things and we're running these businesses, a lot of people, but it's just because you're doing it by rote. And it's just like, it's a script and we on it. But if you had to just stop and create something new or do something, most people can't do it. And in my research, I'm telling you, our executive functioning was hijacked to program for industry. Yeah. And I ain't saying this for everybody. And people who are working these jobs and got these careers and love it, yay! I'm glad. That's for you. But there are many millions of people, we are all wired differently, that never got a chance to tap into what their true calling is. And now is the time. You create it yourself. You don't wait for permission. You don't wait for it to show up. The world has been waiting for you to create it. I remember even telling one of my godbabies this a few years ago because she was frustrated about stuff. And I say, I know it's frustrating because you want to do something and you don't know what the something is because you know the something is available. But at the end of the day, there is no example out there of what it is that she wants to do. Like there is no example out there of what it is I want to do and I'm supposed to be doing because I'm the creator of it. I'm the beginning of it. I'm the generator of it. It ain't no way in the world we're in 2023 and we haven't had any new inventions that's helpful for, mankind. So it's time for us to catch up with our true, authentic selves, the beings that we came to be, to put something down here on this earth, to innovate, to evolve, to grow, to become one, not fight more. And those ones that call themselves in power, bye-bye. Your time is coming to an end. That's why they showing their asses right now. Because they know. And we're going to get into all those kind of soul contracts and a whole bunch of stuff. So we're going to have some esoteric conversations on this channel. Yeah. So I'm going to be building a spiritual commerce. I want to read something to you, and I promise I'm going to wrap up because this was a gift that was given to me over this past couple of years. And it's a spiritual commerce. And Spirit has been telling me that is a part of your purpose and why I exist and why I experience a lot of the things I've experienced in my lifetime. It wasn't a punishment. It was a part of my calling, and I was strong enough to deal with it. Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. A lot of times I felt like I was two people, like I'm the strong, wise, I know better. But then it was like this other version of me who was allowing myself to be disrespected, or I would be passive, or allow people to think I was naive. And it was just weird. And like I said, that was a part of the energy. It was like one day, like this thing just lifted up. And I always knew, like, why does it feel like it's two of me? Because why am I doing, like Paul said in the Bible, why am I doing what I'm doing when I know I don't want to be doing what I'm doing? Paraphrasing, but yeah. And then that energy went away. And now I'm building a new foundation. At 58, I'll be 58 in a couple of months, but it's all good though. So, spiritual commerce, let me read this and I'm going to wrap up. Elevate the Good is a beacon for spiritual commerce that values authenticity, collaboration, partnership, unity, kindness, compassion, integrity, benevolence, genuine support, reciprocity, trust, open and honest communication, appreciation, unique self-expression, fulfillment, joy, love, heart, and service to self and others, because you got to serve yourself. Selfishness is important. Don't let nobody else tell you different. Service to self, because you can't be empty. Service to others, to self and others for the greater good by connecting together individuals, groups, organizations, businesses, and communities to shift our collective energies, talents, skills, and resources towards a more harmonious and mutually beneficial world. Instead of fighting an old system that no longer works for us, we are now creating a new system that does. Elevate the Good curates organic collaborative events, community outreach, educational and social activities that partners businesses, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, artisans, makers, outliers, inventors, creators, and communities by sharing, trading, and exchanging resources, wisdom, knowledge, expertise, products, and talents to meet the wants, desires, and requirements, needs for wellness, consciousness, self-realization, expansion, which is what we're supposed to be doing. We've been stuck on this cycle for a while. That's where everybody miserable is. We ain't been expanding like we're supposed to. Abundance. Abundance means a flow, a constant flow of everything we need when we need it, whether it's money, house, cars, relationship, the right conversation, knowledge, whatever. That's what abundance is. It's not just money. It's a constant flow because that's what God is in our lives. We are always abundant, whether we are conscious of it or not, which is why we're going to be doing this work, to be conscious of our constant abundance that's within us, learning how to work this antenna to get it out of us, because everything is energy. We about to demystify and simplify this thing, right? Okay. Abundance, self-empowerment, and wholeness for all. Spiritual commerce is not a thing. Spiritual commerce is a being. Energy for energy. We are the currency. Time to level up. Time to balance. Time to get harmony. Harmonize within. Get your mind right. Get your heart right. Get your body right. Now is the time. Now is the time. Elevate the good. Elevate the good. Elevate the good. Elevate the good. Think the good. Do the good. Be the good. Live the good. All things good. All you got to do is just be yourself. Who do you think you are? Because who you think you are is how you're showing up in the world. Love you. Bye.